So, welcome back. We have got some more news now. This time, we're going to start with Kimi Antonelli, who has been announced by Mercedes. He will partner George Russell from next season onwards, replacing Lewis Hamilton. There's been a hype around Kimi Antonelli for years. I mean, God, when did I first hear of this guy? I first heard of this guy when he was in some obscure European series in like 2020 when people first started talking about him. He will join Mercedes and make the jump up from Formula 2 next year. I'm really excited for this because it's not every day that you get to see a rookie jumping into a car that can potentially win races. As a result of that, he's going to come in with a lot of hype. He had a lot of hype anyway, but to jump straight into a potential winning car is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And he would be, if he was to win in his first season, the first driver to win a race in his first season since Lewis Hamilton in 2007. Poetic, right? We have another rookie as well next season on the grid, that being Alpine's most recent signing, the Australian Jack Doohan. So Jack Doohan will partner Pierre Gasly from 2025 onwards, and I'm very much looking forward to Jack Doohan. He doesn't seem to have as much hype as the other guys, but he's definitely a pretty good driver, and I do think him and Gasly will work well together. I mean, I hope they'll work better than Ocon and Gasly did when they clashed all the time. Seriously, who the hell thought that was a good idea? They've had beef for years. Jack Doohan comes in, and he's had quite a lot of testing in the Alpine car, and he's quite familiar with the team. I think this is really what Alpine need. They could do with a little bit of stability and, a young driver to root for and, get the best out of, because they need it. Like I said, they really need to recover because this season has been an utter disaster for them. So Jack Doohan is in for 2025. The big story is Adrian Newey. He will join Aston Martin from next season. He starts in March 2025, so the car will already have been designed by then, so his first massive design will be 2026. I believe that he can have input on the current car, whatever tweaks need to be made during the development race, but his first design will be the 2026 Aston Martin. This is the hope that Lawrence Stroll can get his team to the front of the grid, competing for titles, wins and championships, which would be nice. We did briefly see it in 2023 where Aston Martin got off strong in the beginning stages of that season with Fernando Alonso always being on that podium. It was absolutely brilliant. It was unlucky not to get the race wins, to be honest. He could have won Monaco, but I just feel like, that strategy, I think the less said about that, the better, to be honest. But we will see it, and I still do think Fernando Alonso, despite being a ripe old age of 43, can definitely compete for a title. I think the elephant in the room is Lance Stroll. I just don't know whether he's a front runner. I feel like at best Stroll is probably around P5, P6, but we'll see. Adrian Newey has never failed anywhere he's gone, and there is a real feel-good factor around this team. On Lawrence Stroll, you cannot question this guy's ambition. Let's see what happens, and Honda are coming along as well for 2026, so that'll sure be interesting. They've already got experience with these current regulations. Not so much the next ones, which will be in by 2026. I didn't realise, but you know what I mean. They've been with Red Bull, and they've done really well as well. Coming back to this season now, Lando Norris will be getting preferential treatment from McLaren from Baku onwards as they aid to get him his first World Drivers' Championship. The Constructors does look quite good for McLaren, but there is still quite a way to go to get Lando ahead of Max Verstappen. There's still 63 points between the two drivers, but I do feel like this is doable for Lando Norris, with Mercedes and Ferrari coming back into the fray as well. Yeah, you don't know. That gap could soon come down. The only thing with this is I do feel it should have been called a little bit earlier. I mean, you go back to Hungary where the situation happened there where Oscar Piastri passed Lando Norris. If Lando Norris loses this title by 7 or less points, that's going to look really awkward. Plus as well, that just didn't rub me the right way because Piastri's first race win really, it was sullied, weren't it? It was a bit sour. Piastri doesn't deserve that. He's a brilliant driver. And by the way, 2025, if McLaren are still as good as they're expected to be, that is going to get very interesting because, let me tell you, Piastri is not sitting back. He might sit back this season, but not from next. I can see this getting quite ugly. We're going to do a separate video on this, I think, because this really fascinates me. We've not had a team battle like this for quite a while. And you've got two young drivers, both absolutely brilliant. But for now, they are going to go towards Lando Norris. Right, I'm just going to have to edit the ending of this because it's going to go out after qualifying, but oh my God. What are McLaren going to do there? Anyway, I will be back with a new video shortly. Until then, enjoy the season, enjoy the racing. It's an absolute thriller so far. See you next time.